Hey everyone, it's Shravan. I'm back with just a quick video here. I'm going to talk about a few more CDs and tapes that I've been listening to recently. And that's about it. So let's get it going here. First one I want to talk about, this is Dave Brubeck, Indian Summer. This is a solo piano recording. It's Dave Brubeck, so if you know his style of playing, it's like pretty chill, laid back, like cool jazz kind of vibe. But it's nice to hear him play solo because I'm really used to his like sort of classic quartet, quintet, and trio recordings where you hear like him interacting, I should say, with the other instruments. But this was a nice listen. It's like really, really beautiful, pretty like new agey as well. It borders on that like ambient new age territory, but it's beautiful. It's very fun to listen to. This is Solo Guitar Sketchbook by Harvey Reid. This is like a classical guitar record. It's got all sorts of like kind of classic songs like Amazing Grace, Fur Elise, stuff like that, Moon River, like traditional stuff. So it kind of toes the line between like folk and Western and like classical, but it's definitely got more of like a sort of formal classical guitar sort of feel. Like it doesn't feel like a loose bluesy Western kind of thing. Very classical, very formal. Listening to this makes me feel like I need to put on a nicer shirt, if that makes sense. But yeah, really, really nice, fun to listen to. The ultimate, Oscar Peterson. Oscar Peterson is just an amazing piano player. I really can't say much else about it. If you know of Oscar Peterson, you already know this simple fact. I highly recommend listening to pretty much any of his recordings and just listening to the way that he plays the piano. There's some great videos on YouTube as well of him explaining the piano playing styles of other greats of the instrument, and it's an absolute joy to watch. He is just so much fun and just so good at his instrument. Yeah, Oscar Peterson. I have showed this before, but I've been listening to it more, so I want to talk about it again. This is Episome by Otomo Yoshihide, Bill Laswell, and Yoshida Tatsuya. I looked up a little bit more about this recording, so I guess Otomo Yoshihide typically does more like sort of jazz fusion and jazz adjacent stuff. There is more like kind of experimental rock, psych rock stuff kind of like this, but this seems to be like one of his furthest forays into that musical idea, and that's largely caused by the inclusion of Yoshida Tatsuya on this recording, who used to play in Ruins. And if anybody knows that old band Ruins, like they are nuts. It's like crazy, brutal prog, math rock kind of stuff, really aggressive, abrasive drumming. So I feel like that combination of sounds is what leads this to being such a unique listen. Bill Laswell's bass is pretty like airy and bubbly as well, so it doesn't leave it doesn't really ground what's going on. So because of that, it feels like this is just like constantly in motion, constantly moving recording. It's really, really, really good. Super fun to listen to. A new pick for me for sure. Like definitely one of my favorite records of the past few weeks that I've been listening to. John Coltrane's Impressions. Every song on this is amazing, but in particular track 1, India, and track 3, Impressions, are just like some of the best jazz music that's ever been recorded, in my opinion. This is on the beautiful Impulse label, of course. The CD was in my car and it got like water damaged somehow. I think some rain got in or something. So that kind of sucks, but the actual disc is still in great shape, and that's really what matters. And the music is just absolutely immaculate. You cannot go wrong with this. John Coltrane, Impressions. And the last CD I'll show is Herbie Hancock, Maiden Voyage. This one I've been playing a lot recently as well. The tune, Maiden Voyage, Dolphin Dance, all of these songs, all of these compositions are really, really good. It's got that kind of modal jazz vibe. Mid-60s Herbie Hancock, so this is before like Headhunters or any of the fusion stuff. It's just really good. Freddie Hubbard, George Coleman, Herbie Hancock, Ron Carter, and Tony Williams. What an ensemble. Everybody is playing at a super, super high level. It's just so good. And last night and this morning I spun a couple cassettes as well. This is Acid Mother's Temple and the Cosmic Inferno, Yao or IAO chant from the Cosmic Inferno. This is Acid Mother's Temple doing like 50 minutes to an hour of the Om riff. And the Om riff is a like riff that just appears in this old Gong song called Master Builder. And they basically took that riff and took that idea, played it a few times, and then let it take off into a crazy like space rock psych jam. It's amazing. I think it's so cool. Cosmic Inferno is like one of my favorite iterations of Acid Mother's Temple because it's got the double drums and it's particularly heavy in comparison to like the Melting Paraiso UFO stuff. This is an awesome release. It was actually sent to me by Carissa Talonen of iVibe Records, who put out this cassette this year. This has been long out of print for Acid Mother's Temple, and it's one of their best records, so that's awesome that Carissa and iVibe was able to revive it and make it back in print again for Acid Mothers while they were on their tour. And yeah, thanks for sending me a copy. It's so good. I highly recommend anybody here check out iVibe Records and their extensive catalog, because there's some really awesome reissues of stuff like this, as well as like new releases from experimental Japanese. Like they typically are releasing like Japanese stuff, so it's a lot of like experimental Japanese recordings, and yeah, it's just an endless library of really cool music. And the label is run by a really cool person. So yeah, iVibe Records, Acid Mother's Temple. Hell yeah. And lastly, I have this Dr. L. Subramaniam tape. This is just like a Type 2 high bias cassette where somebody recorded a Dr. L. Subramaniam performance. I got this cassette when I bought a very small collection of cassettes from an estate sale for like $5 or something. And it was filled with really interesting, cool recordings of like Indian classical musicians and jazz musicians. This is one such cassette. It's like mostly just tanpura and violin, I think. And the playing is just, it's droney, it's beautiful. It's like one of my favorite things to listen to in the morning. Because it just gets my brain activated, and it's got so much motion to it, but it also stays super static, and it's just a zone that I like to sit in. It's music that you can really listen to deeply and pay attention to the improvisation, but you can also leave it on in the background and it just like brightens up your day. So yeah, Dr. L. Subramaniam, it's a live recording. I don't know when the recording is from. I'm pretty sure it doesn't really, nobody really like introduces the artist like on the actual cassette, or on the recording I should say. But yeah, it's a great performance, and it's recorded immaculately well as well. This is like very high quality taping for just like a random cassette sort of bootleg recording. Yeah, I think that El Subramaniam cassette will be my window back into Indian classical music. I've always been into Indian classical music, but I feel like I kind of go through phases where I listen to it a lot, and sometimes I don't listen to it very much. But after listening to that this morning, I'm friendly reminded that it's just one of the best genres. It's such a cool genre of music. It operates within like drone, ambient, jazz, like folk. To me, it's like all of those things, but it's all under this like broader umbrella of like spirituality and being in touch with yourself and being present with yourself, which I think is just like a reason as good as any to make great music. Yeah, that's about it. That's like most of the stuff I've been listening to the past couple days. I'm playing a show tonight with the Courts, playing a show tomorrow with When the Wall Breaks Down in Bloomington Normal, hosting a jam session next week with my buddy Nick on Tuesday. I'll put some information for upcoming dates in the description. Yeah, I played a When the Wall Breaks Down show last night with my buddy Corrigan. It went great, etc., etc. There'll be plenty more to talk about in the coming videos, but thanks as always for tuning in. Appreciate it very much. Have a great morning and a great Saturday. Take care.